They're the moments. They're the moments where you come up against something really difficult in your life and you don't know if you can do it. You feel overwhelmed, frustrated, and maybe a little bit scared about what's going to happen. And you choose to cringe forward anyway. Through the discomfort, through the awkward, you decide that you're going to shift from a human being to a human becoming. You're going to cringe forward. Today, I have a special guest, Liz Wilcox. She is the Fresh Princess of Email, and I absolutely love her. I'm delighted to have her here to be able to share a little bit about her cringe forward stories and some things that she's been able to go through as an entrepreneur that she's learned along the way. So I'd like you to welcome Liz Wilcox. And if you have any questions about email marketing, what she does, or just want to give a shout out to Liz, feel free to be able to say something in the comments. And you can also say hashtag replay if you're watching this later. So welcome.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited to have you here too. Now, I know I shared a little bit about what you do. What is different about what you do with email marketing than everyone else out there who does it?
Oh, great question. Jen coming in. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So, you know how when, you watch conversations like this, you listen to podcasts about email marketing, and usually the email marketer on the other side of the conversation talks about how they started off as a copywriter, they were working at an agency, or they were freelancing it, and they really, kind of what's the word, like cut their teeth or whatever. They learned how to do it from being behind the scenes on other people's businesses that were already pretty established. Well, I did it a little bit of the opposite. So I actually started my own business. I was an RV travel blogger, just like Jen, started off in the blogging arena. And, I watched videos like this, went to webinars. Everybody and their mother said, you gotta start emailing. You gotta start emailing. You have to email. And like Jen, I had a lot of other things in my life that I had to take care of, but I was really, really dedicated to my dream of making this work for myself. So I thought, if I as a mother, as a stay-at-home mom, as someone who didn't have, a lot of money or a lot of support, I knew that I needed to go with email marketing because everyone was saying that's the highest ROI. That's the highest ROI. So I'm nothing if not an efficient chick. I was like, okay, I'm just going to start emailing. And so I was able to learn strategies, learn how to email market in a way that was really quick, kept it really simple. So Jen and I were really close friends, and she knows I always say, like, I'm a 2-step chick. If it takes 3 steps, I'm out of there. And so every method that I developed with email marketing came from having to do it for myself, for my dream, and also within like really crazy time constraints. When I started my travel blog, I didn't even have internet on my phone. I had to go to libraries. I had to, shout out to the Lowe's parking lot for having excellent Wi-Fi. So everything that I created was done through this lens of, I've just got to get this done.
What was it? You bring up a really good point there, Liz. You said everything, you just had this sense of urgency. I just got to get it done. Like, what was it that moment that you decided you were going to cringe forward, even though you were hitting all these obstacles with time and money and resources and things that you didn't know?
Yeah, for me, it's just, I am just so firm, and Jen has heard me say this a million times. I'm so firm on my vision. And this is not to say if you don't have your big why to just, stop what you're doing until you figure out why you're doing what you're doing. What I love about Jen's cringe forward thing is sometimes you don't figure it out until, until you're there, like until you're in it. But for me, I just knew I wanted to hit the road in an RV. That was my big why at the time. And also support my mom. So I support my mom financially. I always have in one way or another. And actually, I have a brother. He was killed by a drunk driver in 2009. And so after that, my mom, rightfully kind of fell apart, right? And so I just have always known in my life that there, one way or another, I have to be the one to support her. And so when I realized, started watching YouTube videos like this and listening to podcasts and, all that stuff, when I realized that I could click a button, I could send an email
Uh-huh.
and start to develop relationships online that would lead to sales. That was what motivated me. That was
Because you
like,
knew you had that financial obligation to be able to take care of your family and to provide for them. That bigger why was about the quality of life that you
yeah, and
wanted to
it
be
was
able to provide for them.
yeah, and it was, I had been taught, I don't know about you, Jen, but I was taught, you have to earn every dollar. You have to work
Mhm.
hard, blood, sweat,
Hustle.
tears, break your back.
Yep.
And so when I realized I could click a mouse, I mean, not to say it's not hard. It is hard. And what Jen does for, helping people feel comfortable with the uncomfortable is awesome, because it is uncomfortable, but it's a different type than, literally working at a gas station or something like that. And that was, I saw my ticket to the next level. I saw my family's ticket out of poverty. And that's always really, really driven me to do click for
Click
cash.
for
Yeah, I
cash.
love
I
that
know there's a
comment.
moment in there that said that you're in your program and it's click for cash. Well, I
Oh,
love
awesome.
you. Liz, I met you in person the first time and I saw you with your headband, rainbow glasses, an in sync shirt. You had a fanny pack on and you were rocking your Diet Mountain Dew. And the first thing I thought is, oh my gosh, she owns her personal brand. She is unashamed to be who she is, wherever she is. And when I was like, okay, what does she do for work? And it was email marketing and I subscribed to your emails. You came across the same online as you do in person. You had that authenticity. And I think a lot of people kind of hold back a little bit about who they are. What is it that really inspires you to show up the same online as you do in person?
Yeah, well, compliments like yours, Jen, saying, "Oh, I met her in person, so I knew who Liz was, and then
Mhm,
I saw her online, and I was like, oh, wow." To me, that is the greatest compliment. But really,
mhm.
it wasn't always like this, and that's the same as when you think about yourself in elementary school to high school to, working or university, etc. Every single year, if you're doing life right, if you're really, which chances are, if you're watching this, like you want to develop yourself personally and professionally, right? You always work on yourself. You become more of yourself. You peel
Yep.
back those layers. And so for me, I think I just got a head start. I started in high school because I was bullied really bad and I didn't really have any friends and I didn't really seem to fit the mold. And I remember once my mother saying to me, Liz, the more you try to be like someone else, the sicker you get. Because I was also a really ill child.
Mm,
And I just, over the years, I just thought, they don't like me anyway. When I'm trying to be someone else, I might as
yeah.
well just be myself and not literally make myself sick, right?
It's that
I mean,
freeing feeling and so empowering just to know I can embrace my identity.
yeah.
I
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and you're gonna get the pushback and, there I think there's a little bit of hate that comes with embracing who you are and having that authenticity. I don't know if it's because people are afraid to do it themselves or what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, there's good and bad to it, right? So some people will look at me, oh gosh, she's too much, or
Right?
whatever. And other people that are trying, that are either just starting that journey of discovery, or have been on it a while, are really attracted to that, right? Are,
Mhm.
oh, she's most the best compliment I ever got was from another mutual friend, Diana Alt. She posted in my Facebook group something, and she said, it was like a quote, and it said, Liz creates an environment where she is so herself that it makes everyone else feel comfortable to be themselves too. And that was
Exactly.
just so awesome to me. But I want to circle back to what I was saying. Like, it hasn't always been this way. When I had my RV travel site, I was not wearing Chris Kirkpatrick earrings and,
Right.
in sync and the rainbow. Of course, I was always Liz Wilcox. I can't not be myself, just like you
Mhm.
can't not be yourself. But there were certain parts of my personality that I was still hiding. And
Right.
it took many cringe forward moments to be like, oh, I'm gonna share a little bit more about this over here. Or I hid. A lot of people didn't even know that I had a daughter or was married. They just knew this extrovert self, this colorful self, but they didn't know a lot about me. Um, and I wasn't sharing my love of NSYNC and all things 90s and Will Smith and all this other stuff. I was sharing more like Grateful Dead, Aerosmith, things that were still me, but not 100%. And so
Mhm.
from all these moments of just doing things awkward, embracing that this isn't going to be comfortable because it's brand new, the same way a baby learns to walk, like it sucks at
Right.
first, right?
Oh, I
Uh,
fall all the time, dude.
right, yeah,
All the freaking time.
amen. And so just embracing that I was, a baby at this business thing. I was going to fall, but I was going to be as much of myself as possible, and just cringing forward, just moving forward with every single, like, oh gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this moment, has allowed me to evolve into the strong personal brand that Jen recognized, and most other people do nowadays too.
Right. Because it's not like everyone else, because you are authentically yourself. Now, I know we talked a little bit about pushback from other people and everything like that. When you're in that moment where you're not sure if you can do it or not in your business or personally, what is it that helps you cringe forward? Are there certain people, or where do you go to really inspire yourself to move through it?
So Jen and I are really similar. We're both Enneagram threes.
With
So
three wings, baby.
yeah, so we're both very, we want people to know, and sorry, Jen, for calling you out. Like
Oh, no, do it.
we want people to think like, oh wow, that lady's really got it going on. She can do everything. She's the
Mhm.
top of the top. I bet she's got awards in her house.
Oh, I totally do. And they're on the wall because I want to see all of my achievements too, right? So,
Right. We're very high achievers. And so I want to preface all of that with knowing like that is innately who I am, is to cringe forward, is to just do it and get it out there and know that I'm going, the more action I take, the higher up the ladder I'm going to go. And that's something that innately inspires me to action. Um, and then also just the possibility, just believing in the possibility, watching
mm,
webinars, watching stuff like this. And of course, we've all seen gross marketers and we've all seen inspiring, and there's a difference, but just believing in what's possible, just believing that, yeah, Jen says I can make money online, or, so and so did it, maybe I can too. And just wholeheartedly believing that for
right.
myself, um, has allowed me to do a number of idiotic things online in an effort to try to figure this thing out.
I
But
don't think it's idiotic though. And I love what you said. I try to do the same thing. I really firmly believe you can control your feed. So, who you follow, who you engage with, and everything like that. The algorithm on every social media network is going to show you more of what you engage with. So I work diligently to surround myself with people like you who are positive, who are where I want to be with their business and everything. And I think it makes a huge difference when it comes to that mindset, of success or whatever.
yeah, 100%. And if there's a mostly like the majority part of you says, I can't do this, because of course you
Mm,
can never get rid of that. But if the majority of you says, I can't do this, then it's okay to press pause and work on that part of you first,
right.
because I mean, as much as I can't stand when people blame everything on mindset issues as to why you didn't succeed, it if the majority part of you does say, I can't do this, it's not for me, I don't have enough this, that, and the other, that is a signal to pause and work on that, because I know you
Right.
can do it. I know there are resources out there. I know it's possible. Um, but you've got to work on that first, and that will help you, be able to take action, get messy, do things that look terrible to you,
Oh,
or
so awkward. Yeah.
something, yeah, super awkward stuff. Got to work on that first. And of course, just taking really small steps, because, the confidence isn't going to come before the action.
No, I think
It
it's
comes
cringing
from
forward through it. And I
it.
and I and I say too, everyone needs a coach, but they also need a therapist. Because your your coach is not your therapist. And a lot
Amen.
of times, like you were saying, there's those underlying issues about how we feel about ourselves, and it can affect your business. It can repel the sales of whatever it is that you're trying to promote, and even diminish who you are too.
100%, 100%. And the better you feel, the more abundance is going to come to you, right?
Mhm. Most definitely. So tell me, is there anything that you're working to cringe forward right now? Because I know that you've had a lot of success with your email subscription program. You've exceeded your goals with your membership. You're rocking it out and everything like that. Is there anything else
Yeah.
in your life that you're working on?
Yeah. So right now I have a big audacious goal, and I have a membership. Somebody in the comments mentioned it. It's called the email marketing membership. And I have this
I'll drop a
goal.
link below too.
Thanks. I have this goal of it being basically like the Netflix of email marketing, and possibly even the Netflix of digital marketing, where you go in, you can, binge everything, you can get what you need, get out, really entertaining as well. Like I use the word Netflix for a reason. Um, and I say these things on lives like this with Jen and on podcasts. And every time I'm going to step back, like I get this feeling in my belly, like, don't say that. That
Oh, you
means,
do?
oh,
Because I
yeah.
thought I was the only one, dude. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be holding myself
So
accountable if I put these
yeah,
things
it's
out
like,
there.
don't say that, because then if you don't, you're a loser. Like you
Mm.
lost the game. Everyone that ever listens to that for the next, millennium is going to know you didn't hit that goal, right? So
Ooh.
for me, my goal is, oh, now I'm really cringing. By the end of next year, 2023, I want to have 10,000 members. That's going to be $1 million membership. And this membership is only $9 a month. Like Netflix used to be.
Right. And that's the
And
model I'm doing for a Cringe Forward community too, because I'm like, I love the Liz Wilcox, have a big community, have it affordable for everyone that comes in. And
yeah,
and
I
$1
love
million
that.
on that one program, I think it's doable because I've seen the momentum.
Yeah. And so every time I set a goal and I say it out loud, I cringe, because it's like, what if I don't do it? And
Mm-hmm.
also there's a side of me, like we talked about earlier, Jen, of I am such a high achiever. Sometimes there's, something in me that's like, why do you think you have to work so hard? Why are you the one to have this gigantic membership that's going to change lives? Who are you to do that?
Who does
You
she
know,
think she is?
yeah, leave that to the professionals. Like, go back to your NSYNC earrings. And so but I know, especially, I just love this message that Jen has about the cringing forward. I'm going to say it again, because it's going to propel me. I know saying those goals out loud, while it's like, oh my gosh, what if I fail? Then everybody's going to know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I know it's going to push me. Even if I don't hit that goal, I know it's like, come on, Liz, you said you were going to get up and do that. So now you need to get up and
The
do it.
accountability.
And I will say, like, usually I hit my goals, but I had a goal I wanted to get 1,000 members. So I launched the membership in February of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was slow going at first. It was, I got 100 people in the first 30 days. That was my main goal. I was like, if
Mm-hmm.
I get 100 people, I was doing the math, right? I was like, that would be worth it. And I can know it's validated and I can keep going, right?
Like that proof of concept.
Right. And so, at $9 a month, you do need a lot of people. So I was like, I need to get 100. If I can't get 100 people interested in 30 days, the first, when I'm most excited about it, when it's a new idea, it's not going to work. So
Right.
I ended up doing it. And then I was like, oh, what if I got 1,000 by the end of the year? That would allow me to retire my services, save up some money, like, let's go. So I kept telling people, I got on over 50 podcasts in 2021, 1,000 members, I was like, yeah. And every time I get off the call and be like, dang it, now I've got to do all this work. Where am I going to find 1,000 people? Right. And, fast forward New Year's Eve, I did not have 1,000 people.
Mm.
And in my heart, I was like, oh no, I was very close. I can't remember. It was like 970. It was
You're right.
very close. I know it was over 900.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, Liz, send out one more email, do this, do that. But it was also the end of the year. It was Christmas time. I was traveling. My kid was at home. I'd worked really hard that year, really,
Right.
really hard. And I was just tired. And so I just let myself be tired. And, that was also, something that felt very cringy to me, something that, because I'm a high achiever, I want people to know that when I say something, it's like Moses, right? Like it's in stone, okay?
You're
Like,
parting the seas to get to where you want to be.
like, whoa, and that's an image I like to portray, but it's an image that I love about myself.
But
And so
you
when I,
owned it. You went
yeah,
into your community and said, you know what, I didn't hit this goal, but I'm going to cringe forward and do it anyway. And my vision of what success looked like, you had the 970 members. Just because you didn't hit 1,000 didn't mean it wasn't successful.
oh, yeah, and that was something that I had to come to grips with and say, "No, Liz, you said you were gonna be on vacation right now. Sure, you could email some people, you could pull in some favors, but, like, what is it you really want?"
At what cost?
Right? Yeah. And so at that point, it wasn't worth the cost, and that was probably even more cringy to me than, you know, um saying I'm going to hit 1,000, I'm going to hit 1,000, was accepting the fact that I wasn't going to. That was really hard
Mhm.
for me.
But
Um,
you
I,
chose to spend the time with your family.
right, because at that point I had put in the work. I had done all that I should do, right, and 900 something. That is something to write home about. That's
Heck yeah.
that's
It's to
people
email
were
everyone and be like, look, this is what I did. If I
right.
can do it, you can do it too.
Right. People were still inspired. So I ended up hitting the 1,000. Again, I had to, I guess instead of saying cringe forward, I had to like cringe stall. I want to say I wanted to hit 1,000 in a year. I thought, oh, now that's another thing that could, okay, I hit 1,000 in my first year. Well, I didn't do that either because I was still completely tired. But I hit it in 1,000, or I hit 1,000 in 1 year in 6 days. And that's something, even saying it right now, it's like, you can kind of see my face. I'm slightly still disappointed in myself.
My
But
little
part of the
achiever.
more I tell, yeah, the more I tell the story, the more I realize, like most things that feel cringy, at the end of the day, I don't want to say silly and be dismissive, but, it was still a success and there's no reason to feel bad about it because
Exactly.
I still got to 1,000. That's crazy.
It's not because it's the product that you're offering, but you also put yourself out there. You're honest. You say, look, I'm going to make this sale. Can I have $9? Which is the email I'm going to send out later today. I'm going to use your swipe copy and be like, can I have $9? Because this is my Cringe Forward membership. And you own who you are. You show up authentically online and you offer something that people need in a way that's inspiring and fun. Because
Thank you.
I think you're fabulous. You're one of my business role models and everything. Is there anything that you want people to know or anything you want a message that you want to leave with them?
Yeah, actually, I want to tell a story about
Go
my
for it.
most cringiest moment. I've never told this story. It's just kind of an inside joke between me and one of my closest business friends. So when I was first starting out, live video was brand new.
Mm,
Facebook was actually running advertisements on television for Facebook Live. So, it was like 2016, 2017, something like that. And like to Jen's point, I am just putting myself out there. I'm like, okay, what is the hardest thing I can do? And then I go do it. Of course, that's in my personality. If that's not in your
mhm.
personality, if that makes you want to vomit, don't do that. You gotta build up that endurance muscle, okay? Um, and so I thought, oh, live video. Everyone, every expert is jumping on live video. And
Mhm.
I'm brand new. How can I stand out? Oh, I'm gonna make a live video. And so I joined this challenge by this lady, Michelle Lewis. She still does visibility and video.
Uh-huh.
And she did something like 5 day live challenge or something. And Jen, you're going to laugh at this. So I'm going to let you swallow that drink. And so, it was 5 days and we had a task every day. And what I didn't know is we were leading up to doing a live on our page or profile, wherever we were going to go live.
Mm.
Well, Jen, you'll laugh at this because you have a similar personality. I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to go live today. Like, I'm just going to get it done
I'm
today.
going to jump in. I'm going to check it off my list, give myself a
Yeah.
star.
And so, here I don't have my phone, but here I go. I'm going to go, oh, how do I figure out how to go live? And this is my mouse phone. And and I set it on the camera and I'm like, hey, da, da, da. And I don't even remember what I was talking about, but it was on my it wasn't even on my Facebook page. It was on my personal profile. And I was trying to be inspiring.
You are, but you were feeling like you had to be like a certain, like, hey, I'm a professional business
yes.
person.
And so I was like trying to give a life lesson or something, and I'm sitting cross-legged down, like I'm outside of the gym and I just got done with a workout. So I'm really feeling myself. And I'm playing some live music, like I'm playing music and I'm going like I'm swaying, like waiting for people to jump on live. Like if you're brand new to live, don't ever do that. Do what Jen did in this video and just get started. And I'm like, I'm just gonna wait and see if anybody pops on. And I wax poetic about who knows what for like 20 minutes. And I want to say this is so cringy because I put it on my personal page. It pops up as a memory every single year. And I would have to look at it, and I can't even watch more than like 45 seconds anymore because to me, it's so, I know it's inspiring, but I still look at it as super cringe. And I can give you another example of something really ridiculous that I did.
But the beautiful thing about that, though, is it gives you that point of where you were at and where you are now, because you teach classes online all the time. You go live, you've done all these podcasts, and you just embrace who you are. And I think that's something that you told me when I was starting is just do it. The more you do it, your message will get clear and everything like that. Just do it. And that's helped me a lot.
Yeah. And luckily no one was watching. I saw like my sister-in-law popped up, it's like brand new, right? My sister-in-law popped up. I just no comments on that thing. But the one person that did watch it was someone I met at a conference. And she brings it up. She's like, remember that weird live you did? And she's like, but that was really inspiring to me. I was like, wow.
Really?
And it's funny because she mentions that it was not very good, but it inspired her because she was trying to do the same thing, but she was afraid. She was afraid of putting herself out there. She was afraid of, hitting the live button or even posting. And we actually became accountability buddies, and we actually started a business together. And we're still friends today. And she always mentions, she's like, I just saw you in that live. And I was like, this girl is doing it. Like, she's not talking about it. Like, she is just
jumped in and you cringe forward and just embrace who you are authentically.
Yeah. And the last thing I say, I cannot sing. Okay.
I can't either.
I'm the worst. And I decided, so I had my blog when I was, for any Disney fans watching, you're going to want to listen to this. So Moana had just come out, right? And I was trying to be creative. I was really trying to break the mold, right? I was like, in my personal life, I know, like, my clothes, when people meet me, they either love me or they're like, love it or leave it, right?
Right.
And, which is good because then I know who's genuinely attracted to me in that way, And so online, I was like, how do I break out like that? How do I appear like that on the screen so people know I'm different, I'm creative? It's going to be a fun vibe over here, right? And I was an RV travel blogger who didn't travel. So I was really trying to think outside the box. How do I get these people's attention when I don't have any beautiful photos of Zion, And so I was like, oh, I'm a really good writer. I'm going to make a parody of that song Shiny on Moana,
I did that just for myself, just because I make up words. I can totally relate.
See, Jen and I are so similar. So I did it. So I wrote, Jen's got Post-its. I have notebooks.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I wrote it and I went live and I sang this Shiny song it was like 4 RVers. It was awful. It was terrible. I can't even I must have deleted it because I can't even find it on the page anymore. But that it was awful, but people thought it was hilarious, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, more of this, please." I never did it
Right.
again because it was just so uncomfortable. But it was about getting myself uncomfortable, trying to figure out my groove.
Yes.
And I realized, like, while I loved writing it, like, my singing was just so bad I couldn't do it again. I was like, I wish
That's
I could
okay.
hire someone to sing this because it's really funny. Like, you can barely even understand me, but people loved it because, to our point, circling all the way back to the top of the hour, of I was just going for it. And
Right.
the right people at the beginning of your business will see that, will connect with it, and want to follow you to see what you do next.
Exactly. I love that. And I had the similar thing. My when I labeled and branded myself as the cringy mom and decided I was going to cringe forward, that, I was pointing to the right, to left, and down. And my husband's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "It's a TikTok." And he's, "Oh, it's nice that you have to appeal to the lowest common denominator." And I sang a little song about having to make lots of money. And I did a super cringy mom moment towards the camera. And everyone loved it because they're like, "This is Jen. This is Jen Campbell. She's the cringy mom. She's showing up authentically." And it felt super awkward and embarrassing. And I didn't want to post it. I put it in our mastermind group. But doing that has empowered me to do so much more. And I look in, Warren, our coach, he said, when you're up there and you're teaching and you're doing like your teacher mode, Jen, of the personal branding, it doesn't resonate the same way as when you're just connecting. When you're sharing a story and you're giving a little slice of who you are. So that's why I'm building this cringe forward community, because I want other people, especially women, to know that they can show up and have more visibility online, that they can cringe forward. Because if the cringy mom Jen Campbell can do it and dance on a table or sing towards her mailbox, then anyone can do it. And just embracing that 100% authenticity online is everything. So
Love that. And love you, Jen. I love what you're doing inside the community. It's so needed, because especially now that I've been in business for like 6 years, a lot of people, "Oh, Liz, you're so dialed in. Like Jen said at the beginning, oh, your headband, your earrings, it was just the whole thing." But that took lots and lots of time of trial and error, feeling ridiculous, doing things that now I'm like, "Oh, I would never do that again." Leaning
but
into,
it's a
right.
learning experience and opportunity.
Yeah, and it's all, it's like, I don't know, like building a sculpture. You've got to start with a block and you chip away. Maybe you chip off too much and you've got to change the whole picture, and, etc. But it really is, if you look at it through these, cringy moments of, I'm as learning experiences and ways to really dial in what you want, and like who you want to be and how you want to represent yourself.
Mhm.
It becomes much more easy to take action, to be like, I'm cringing forward. I'm not failing. I'm learning. Um, this doesn't look ridiculous. It's attracting the right people, right?
Right?
Things like that
I
is
know, because
really
I'm like, because I had it first and I posted one of my things on YouTube and I was like, and I said something and I got like so many trolls in my comments and they're like, I mean, I got like 1,500 views on that YouTube short with only 4 viewers on my thing, but I got 5 subscribers. I've got like, I think I have like 22 now. But
boom.
but it was the people that it resonated with, and that was engagement and everything. And I'm like, or when I say, okay, you need to have a picture of what you look like, and teenagers are like, well, I don't do this for privacy purposes. You're not my audience, and that's okay. And letting go of that, I want everyone to like me. And that's just a whole Jen Campbell thing. But I'm learning more and more that they won't. I'm taking that Liz Wilcox, you know what? I love NSYNC. I'm going to embrace it. I'm the fresh princess of email, and I'm going to own who I am. And for me, it's the cringy mom. So I really appreciate you, Liz.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jen, for having me. And I know we had some live viewers, so thanks for watching. And thanks for watching the replay. I can't wait to see how everyone cringes forward. This is super cool.
Oh, thank you so much. And like I said before, I'll put a link in the comments for Liz's email marketing subscription, as well as my Cringe Forward community. So I just wanted to end with my final thought here. Your voice has value, your message has meaning, and you deserve to be seen and heard. Cringe Forward.